everybody.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Am I starting us off?
Yeah, you'll start.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll just invite you to close your eyes. Taking a deep inhale in. And release. Allowing any tension from the body to be released through our breaths. Opening ourselves up to receive universal wisdom, love and knowledge. Connecting to our heart space and trusting the flow. Thank you.
Let's get this party started.
Let's get it started. Okay, so I would like to invite you to say your perception of why we have animals on Earth.
So we had this conversation, and from what I've learned, this isn't just Edie's random idea that she gets I do listen to other people. I do allow myself to be open. So animals, because this reality that we live in, that we think is so real, is a mirrored reflection of what we have going on internally. Our animals represent our emotional states. They are like a representation of the emotional parts of us, right? So say you have a lot of violence or a lot of negative energy in you, you would probably have or see aggressive animals in your life, or have those experiences, or but you were talking about dogs, and dogs are like, what does a dog, so the first thing to ask yourself is say you had an experience with an animal, what was the energy you felt from the animal? What was the overall feel of that experience? That's what you have internally. And that's what the animal was representing for you.
Yeah, so how, for me at that period of time, I was like obsessed with lambs. Like all I wanted to do was like hold a lamb, pet a lamb.
But at the time that the lambs are being born, it's new birth. So it would be typical of most people to be attracted to lambs. Because they represent birth. They represent new. And
for me, being in that open to transition of what is coming next, you know, that this newness that I am still giving birth to, you know.
Yeah.
That was expressed through, that's how I gathered.
That's for you, how it meant. Yeah.
And like even last night, like I was so obsessed with looking at dogs. Like last night I was just like, oh, just to have, maybe it was to have a companion, you know, to have somebody to come home to have somebody that you can go out and walks with, you know, to have life together. And I suppose right now I'm opening myself up to that experience in
other ways.
That's maybe why. No, it is because that's why it got brought up today. Is because I was in that space last night and I was like, "Ooh, how can my 3D mind put this into form?"
Yeah, exactly.
Animals.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and they say that when we emotionally understand all of this, the animals will no longer have to be here. And it's not that the animals go extinct, it's that what that represented in our lives or to whoever, like they didn't, so the dinosaurs, when the dinosaurs existed, man did walk the earth at the same time, and the dinosaurs represented how man thought life, how hard life was for man, because that was what they were representing. And when man realized that life didn't have to be as dangerous as hard, or whatever the dinosaurs were representing for them at that time, they became extinct because they no longer posed that threat to man anymore, because they realized They don't have to be. But I haven't really understood the connection. So Ireland doesn't really have any dangerous animals. You used to have bear and wolves, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a place that's trying to reintroduce them back into Ireland. But I found it really interesting that there wasn't any bears, like not just bears, but there wasn't any dangerous animals here. I mean, you have fox, badger. I mean,
Yeah, we
really,
don't have reptiles or anything. Like,
yeah, there's no lizards or snakes so I haven't really understood what those represent, like why they're not here, because it's got to be a mass, like a main idea that the population believes for something to not exist or to exist.
being though, like, it makes sense from my brain, because if we're all one, we're all teaching each other something, you know, whether that be an animal or the grass or humans, you know. So it's not creating a divide where we're superior to another species, or we're all just here to teach someone.
But they're all an external reflection of your internal reality. Everything you're experiencing is an external reflection of your internal reality. And it's not that we're better, or there is nothing like that exists in spirit. There's nothing is innately better or worse than any other options. It all just is. It all just is. So I have been feeling guided to tune in more to the plants. And I took some time this last week to do that, like to the flowers in the garden. And again, when you tune into something, what you're doing is you're clearing your mind and you're asking the spirit of the plant, the rock, the grass, the chair, the whatever it is. You're asking the spirit of that to speak to the spirit within you. And when you do that, you get in visions. You get in your mind's eye visions. And that's how spirit speaks, is through a vision, not through words. Most of the time, it's mostly through vision. Sometimes it can come through words, sometimes through smell, sometimes through different ways. But the vision I got with the flower, and then I tuned into another flower to ask if it was true for it. But one of the flowers told me it was actually one of these little daisies on the lawn. There's a clump of them, and I was tuning into them. They said that they represent the sun on earth in their vibration. So the flower is a representation of the sun. And the flowers are different on the different plants because they vibrate differently. So in order to have a different mark of a representation of the sun, their color is different, their shapes are different, and so I thought that was interesting that that's what I got.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. But it's like the energy systems within the body, they all vibrate at a certain frequency that gives them a color.
Yes.
Like
Makes sense.
It's bloody magic. You know what I mean? Like, it's magic.
Yeah.
Like, it really, really is. Like,
yeah.
And then we're out here stressing over silly things, and we're making our own color.
Because we don't think those things are silly. But we could be realizing that our internal imaginings that feel fantastic are how we're creating. Our negative ones are creating too, but and that we can relax and trust that that's going to come, because you cannot imagine something that isn't for you. So if you can imagine it, it's because it's for you, and it wants you as much as you want it. So your imaginings are important.
And I love, so I took you're
having your own conversation. Please share.
I took a I went, Jesus Christ. I went on a journey to the spirit world.
A shamanic journey.
Yeah. To meet the Green Man, the king of the forest.
Was that the intention?
That was the intention, yeah.
Okay.
So he is one of the figures that would be represented with Beltane.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in with our intention of connecting to the Green Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on my journey and I seen him. We were sitting around a fire. He had such like a leprechaun presence.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have never journeyed to a leprechaun, but typically
You've never met a leprechaun on a journey?
Yeah. I've met one in physical form though. I know who you are.
We won't talk about him.
No more episodes. But he'd such like a, just a leprechaun presence about him. And I was like, this is mad. So anyway, I'm having a chat with him and I'm like, what do you need to show me? What do you need to show me? Your man just starts up doing the jig. And I was like...
He got up and did the jig.
And I was like, I am going to start having fun. Thank you very much for that. And we were invited to see a box. And in that box was a gift from a previous ancestor who's walked before us. And in this box for me, there was... the jewel that was around the neck in the Titanic? Sapphire, was it?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. So it was a very royal blue diamond. Jewel. That's exactly what it was. And I'm so... Still to this day, I don't know why this was a gift from me. And I'm just like, interesting. Like, what is it for? So the whole reason why I'm bringing up this story is because visualization can take you mad places. It can make you see things and you're not going mad. Just trust that whatever is shown to you is what's meant to get shown to you.
Yeah, and if you ever don't understand, you ask.
Yeah, and like when I seen the jewel, I was like, "Oh, is somebody gonna gift me this? Or like, what's the story here?" And then I was like, do you know what, for blue, because I'm in this chakra thing at the moment, that's all that I'm like is in my vortex at the minute. And I'm just like, I am actually learning to use my voice. Like I am from a place of love, and I always shut myself down before, and now I'm just like, no, I don't care what you think of me, and I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah, and that's hence why we have this podcast.
It's only took me about 4 months to realise. But it was really, like, for me, that's what it represented. Yeah. Tomorrow something might pop up that it could represent, but for this version of me
it was right now, for that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you were supposed to get.
And like it was shining so bright, like it just reminded me of the Titanic. I think it's the Titanic.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And it was just open. It's like, when you open a pearl and it's just sitting there being beautiful. It's like, yes, you may speak. So it was really, really good.
I think this is the time, We're starting to learn about ourselves. I was watching a video about how quantum physicists have found the quantum entanglement. Somebody won the Nobel Prize for his quantum. I don't know the specifics, so I shouldn't be talking. But so they're proving what spiritual people have always known. So what they're saying now is it's really going to shake some people who have always thought that those spiritual people are different and woo-woo-y, but in fact they're the ones closer to the hashtag truth, or
the
not
woke
hashtag,
ones.
but the woke ones. But we're the ones closer to understanding reality. And it's interesting to me. What I've realized is a lot of the books that I've read or am still reading are from the early 19th century, and how much knowledge they had then. And then it's like where'd it go? It was like, Nikola Tesla, Neville Goddard, Florence Scovel Shinn, Edgar Casey. There's just a lot of people that was there during that turn of the century, and then it was like nothing.
But that, saying that, I connected with a sister yesterday, and she was like, you ever think our lineage, how many back, would be the ones to have all the knowledge of the plants, and they were attuned to the plants. You had an ailment, they connected, and the spirit told them what they needed to give. But then all of a sudden it's gone. And then generation, there's another ones down the line.
But it's few and far between.
It's like that's crazy.
It is. It's like somebody copped on. I don't really understand what happened.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of knowledge, and then it was like, and then we all went numb again.
Yeah. So and we're all coming back, like, do you know what I mean? But like, and I know you say light workers or healer or whatever
whatever your label is.
And then, but then you look at like maybe the hybrid children coming in.
Oh yeah.
Like, they were never, like, I've never encountered, as far as I'm aware, one yet.
Well, they say that every generation that is born so when you're a person and you have a desire to understand something, or say you feel a lot of suppression, or you can't do something. When you can't do something, it makes you really want to do that something you can't do. So the generations that come in can do those things. Don't have the suppression. And the only reason why the generations before felt the suppression is because they believed they were suppressed. And so the answer is always coming. And it comes in newer generations. So every new generation, when an older person is able to stay fresh in their understanding of life, they're also part of a newer generation. But in general, you see gaps because the newer generation understands more. Like, they have the answers. They've come in with the answers that we were looking for.
Yeah.
But you can, as an older person, keep up with that by allowing and keeping yourself open to understanding. And that's why and how I think a lot of the way that you slow down aging happens, because you're able to stay fresh. You're able to stay new. You're able to want to learn. You're able to expand. You're able to evolve. You're able to change. Those are all traits that youth bring. And you stay in that energy when you can do that, no matter what age you are.
I think that youthful energy as well, because we have been programmed to see our adults as our superior. Not our superior, but
more knowledgeable. That needs to change.
It's a cycle that's going around and going around and going around, but it's not actually keeping anything fresh, because where the adults is completely judging them from their experience, not judging, like teaching from their experience, even though it's not their experience.
It's not new. So it's not fresh. It's not evolved.
So it's actually interesting, you know.
It is interesting when you think about it, because the more you can change with, and I believe that's what Source intended for us to always do, is to continue to evolve, to continue to change. Because if that wasn't what we were always supposed to do, why does it feel so good when you do it? Because it really feels good when you're not stuck in a paradigm, or you're stuck in a way of thinking that you realize doesn't bring you happiness. Happiness is about changing and evolving and learning, continuing to learn, expanding and pushing the limits of what you think can and can't happen. That's why I don't shut myself off to anybody. If I hear something new, when I hear something new, I feel it. And that's when I say, ooh, there's something here for me. Or no, that doesn't feel, that's not resonating with me. It may later. But at the moment it isn't.
Like, I had an experience there on Monday, and I was having a conversation with somebody, and like I was so open in this conversation, like, and it's not that I've been told before to some things don't need to be said. It's like, well, fuck that. Like, I felt safe in that company so I just didn't shut up speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said something. It's kind of like what Patty does, sarcasm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have that
Sarcastic
trait.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said something, and then he took it back. He was like, "No, I didn't. Like, I'm sorry. It was just a joke." And I was like, and I went back at him again in sarcasm, and then he was like, "Ooh, okay, you should play," but like, it all depends what version you are of yourself that day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because are you in a space of taking things personally?
Yeah.
You know, or are you seeing him as trying to carve something out of you? Like, do you know what I mean? But it was like, he didn't he trusted himself enough to say it, and then all of a sudden he went and said, "Oh no, like, I'm joking, it's only a joke." And I'm like, what? You just said it, so like, don't go back. But I'd be that person as well sometimes. If I see that person not taking that correctly, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm joking.
Joke.
And then knowing full well that I'm not joking, but I'm just saving myself.
Yeah, and it feels like you're not joking too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it feels like we're not joking.
Just
noted.
I'm the one on the other end of it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not talking about you.
No.
That tendency of claiming something's a joke that somebody isn't taking the way you. Yeah.
But it's so mad because I'd be like, years ago, like with my mom's relationship, I'd be like, will you just relax? It's only a joke. Don't tell someone it's pissed off to relax.
No.
No way.
No. But then again, be in your now.
Yeah.
And decide in the moment.
Yeah.
That's really more powerful than basing it on the past.
Yeah. I know, and I'm so compassion, because reflecting back of what I could have done and taking away the joy of the present because of my experience from the past. But compassion.
You're here now.
Yeah.
And now is all you have.
Yes. So thank you for bringing my awareness.
It's all we have is now.
Yeah.
And having compassion for your response. Like, I didn't have to share my story about Krishna and me having a little issue. But I feel like to be real and how you change things isn't from hiding from them. You change them from being vulnerable with it. Sharing it, saying this is how I responded, and I can tell you now I probably won't respond the same way. But again, it's in the moment. So,
and also how you set your ego aside and apologize, like, because
I saw it more as not my ego but my opportunity to teach. Because I feel like I'm a teacher at my core. So my opportunity to share with him that, the gifts that I had understood from it. So, yeah.
And also I think like I had an experience where I think I actually already said that, so never mind.
Well, you gotta say something now. Fill the space, Amy. Look at you working hard.
I filled it with my breath.
Okay.
But yeah.
Life is good. Life is good if you allow it to be.
Good.
Yeah.
Life is good. Like somebody said, I don't understand. I like picking your brain because I don't think like you think. And how bored would you? I'd be bored if you thought like how I thought.
I know.
Like
I have actually. Well, it's good that we all have our different perspectives.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking like everybody else, a little boring, but
boring isn't even an understatement.
No judgment, just
no.
Yeah. No, I love that I have a man in my life, my husband. Not just a random man.
Your buddy!
Who thinks outside the box too.
Yeah.
So over the weekend, he made it's so random. Have you seen the videos about the copper spirals and
On the ground.
no, just when you make the copper spiral and then you can put the metal in it and it shifts the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he made ours a pyramid.
Yeah, of course, please.
A big pyramid. And it's full of quartz and crystals and copper spirals and all kinds of energy. And do you know where he put that thing?
Huh.
In the bed. Right between us. Up by our heads.
Okay.
So I have had the most crazy dreams.
I can imagine.
And the first night it was there, a lot of like negative dreams, but not in, like I didn't wake up feeling, ooh. I kind of woke up feeling, it's the dream happened and it shifted something.
Nice.
So I was aware of the negative in the dream, but then it shifted. And then, so like I woke up fresh. I didn't feel like
Right.
I had a bad night.
Mm.
And then last night was about Connor. Now I haven't probably haven't given this one any time to decipher, but in the dream, Connor was dying, which he was in life, and then he transitioned, and they were asking me if I wanted him to come back. And I'm like, what do you mean? Do I want him to come back? And they said, we have his DNA. We can reproduce him and he won't have any health issues. If you want him to come back, you just let us know. And it was just weird because I was like, when Connor was in the hospital, when he first was born, and he was in the neonatal ICU for 8 months, and he had open heart surgery and he had some other things happening while he was there. But during that time, complete strangers were taking care of me. Like I felt blessed and I felt taken care of and I felt loved, and they weren't from family and it wasn't from friends. It was just from people I didn't know coming into my life, taking care of me. And I had that same feeling in the dream last night. Like we're taking care of you. Mm-hmm. If you want him to come back, we can bring him back and he will be healthy. And I remember in the dream not wanting him to come back any differently. Mm. But so the big things I remember was how sad I was that he was dying. Like I was devastated, like I was in the hospital when he was first born. How many people were taking care of me and how cared for I felt. Mm. And then choosing to have him the way he was versus having a different way. And so I'm not sure, like I haven't, maybe even me listening back to this will bring some clarity. But, so that was an interesting dream. Because I feel like part of the whole blessing that he brought was because of all the stuff he brought with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's...
Yeah, so that was an interesting dream. So just real vivid, really interesting dreams that like, yes, not last night but the night before's dream was, I felt like I was living in a parallel life. I was a young woman married to a man, not Patty, with 3 kids, young children, and my husband accidentally killed somebody, but it was like back in time, so there was no internet or anything, and I kept telling him, all we have to do is leave town. Nobody will even know. Nobody would even know that you did anything. Like he did it by accident. I don't know the outcome of, I can't remember the outcome of it, but I don't know what that one was about. I felt like it was like a parallel reality, like I'd popped into a reality that I was trying to help myself.
Yeah.
Like, they won't even know.
Yeah.
So tell it to your husband. So that's what I was saying to my husband. Like, they don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, you can hide so easy.
Yeah. But you could years ago, like.
Yes.
Can't get away with murder nowadays. Literally.
Well. Have you tried?
You've got me.
I want to address something before we close this episode up, and I don't even know how long it's been.
Okay, go first.
You keep, and this could just be the way you speak, and that's okay. but maybe something to reflect on later. But you say God, and we all do. So I suppose me bringing this up is just an awareness for everybody, even myself. Because I think in the beginning, that's really how you start to understand. But when you were talking about how you wanted to make some money, so you say, God, show me how to make some money. God, and then God gave you opportunities to work. And then I was explaining to you that it's you. And I think that's a jump for some people to say. It's easier to say it's God. But when the divine is everything, literally, there is nothing that exists that isn't divine. When you realize this is a reflection of yourself, you're really talking to yourself. Because you are the divine. You are that which gives you everything that you want. You're the one that stops you from receiving, and you're the one that receives. You're the one that gives you what you want. It's only you. So it's learning that relationship. Something I'm still understanding myself, because literally there is only the divine.
Just force a habit, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think that's where we all start. You know,
yeah.
The universe gave me this, the universe. But if you can switch that in your head and say, I gave myself this opportunity, it changes that.
I actually did though, you know. Like literally, because I asked, trusted it, and then done it. Like,
yeah. Well, you are always, it's all always you. It's only always you. It's just we say God or the universe or the divine, or we put in an extra step. And I think we do that because it makes us more comfortable. Because people think it's so not okay to call yourself divine. But actually, the table is divine. The everything is divine. It's all part of source. Not separated. None of us are separated from. That's why when I speak to the plant and ask it, tell me something about you, and it tells me, and I represent the sun, my flowers represent the sun, I can pick that up because I am that flower. I am part of that flower too.
We all have the same roots.
Yeah. And we're all living our own reality. And you don't have to believe what I have to say. I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that are challenged by what I have to say. I'm okay with that. I expect it, which there won't be a time when I won't expect it and it won't happen.
But you know what's so mad though? Like, it boggles my mind that people choose to not make an opinion, but speak from a place of judgment or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm just like, if you want to believe that, you know, believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not here to say don't.
Right now.
Yeah.
But, like, it actually just blows my mind.
That we all don't have, that we all can't just have our own opinions.
Yeah. Like,
and we do anyway.
Just accepting people for who they choose to be at
Yeah.
that moment in time.
Yeah. So you didn't always understand maybe what I have to say. But have you gained from what I have to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, truly. And for that, thank you.
Well, I'm not asking for that.
But like, honestly, like...
But you...
Take the fucking compliment.
Thank you. But I have gained from changing my perspective. I have gained, and when I say gained, I mean I've so happy with life, so fulfilled with life from changing my perspective, from looking at it from a different way.
Yeah. It's like you plant seeds though, because like I might get it today or tomorrow, but like something will trigger me to have that memory of what you said, and
apply it.
okay, you
Yeah.
know. And like I remember like years ago, like when I was going through a different version of myself, hearing all these things, reading all these things, but I wasn't taking it in like whatsoever. Like, and it actually blows my mind because I thought that this was this version of me who knows all this. I knew nothing. Still know nothing. But like, it just blows my mind that you think that you're reading this book and gaining all the knowledge. Like, I used to take pride in saying, oh yeah, like I've read 2 books this month. Give me bollocks, did I? I scanned the pages. I didn't actually...
But did you apply?
No, I didn't remember.
That's when things change.
Yeah, like, so it's really just observing what you're doing and is it serving you? Because it wasn't like... That's actually mad that I've just thought about it. Like, it wasn't... But anyway, this version of now.
Yeah.
Reading Anam Cara for the past 2 months.
I find that unless and until you apply a concept or an idea or sit with it and imagine, what if this were true? What if what she's saying could happen? What if there's some truth in that? How would that change my life? How would that feel? How would that feel good if I believed that? And if it feels good, then why not try it? If it doesn't feel good, then don't.
Yeah, and you have to care as well in terms of like, if I, for right now, say like teleporting, I don't really care about that right now.
Yeah.
But so I'm just like, right, you think that and you figure it out, great. Then come back to me. But like, you have to have passion or pull towards something. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
No, I know because from an experience.
Yeah.
For something to actually sink in. Yeah. I want to apply it.
Yeah.
So
constantly I sit and ask myself, what am I doing, or what will bring me more joy in this life? What can I do to bring more joy to myself in this life? Because that's why you're here. That's your language. What brings you joy is your language. And I can see what somebody else is doing, but unless I apply it and feel it for myself, I don't really know if it would bring me joy. So again and again, I keep coming back. I get so much joy from understanding this. I get so much joy from realizing new concepts, from actually having a concept introduced to me, applying the concept and feeling it and seeing it, and I get so much joy from that. Like, that lights me up. And I feel like my whole teleportation thing was, I know I will get there, but at the moment I'm working on baby steps. And
of course there's a lot of shit you need to break.
Yes, a lot of beliefs that have to be, a lot of beliefs. Yeah.
And maybe I'm not willing to put in the work to break down them beliefs.
I think you will.
Yeah, eventually. Right now.
Wait till you start seeing me popping everywhere. Like, here we go.
Girl, I'm on your back.
Show me how.
And then my 3D brain will be like, oh, I've seen somebody do it, now I can do it.
Yeah, and that's how you start seeing the changes. Is you, one person.
So take one for the team, will you?
But you have to do the work.
Yeah.
You can't be on my back the whole time.
What's new?
No, that's the possibility. So we are literally limitless. And it's just something to, and lately, the last couple of days, I've really been sitting with that which sees through my eyes is the same thing, the same consciousness, the same awareness that sees through your eyes, that sees through somebody else's eyes. That is the divine within us. That's what doesn't go away. That's what stays. So when we transition out of this body into spirit, the awareness that sees, the awareness that's aware continues. Minus the body, minus the mask of Edie, minus the definitions, minus the beliefs. All of that is still there with that spirit, but it's all still with the awareness, but it's not forefront defining the reality anymore. It's just part of the experience that awareness had.
So watch this space.
Whatever that means.
Left open for your own interpretation.
Yeah, that's what I'm really sitting with lately, is the awareness.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here.
See you next week.